Hi folks, this is Luis LaBoy with Breaking Your Silence. We're back again, right? And we have the honor, we have the privilege of speaking with a great person, a great human being. And we're going to get to know her. She's going to be able to speak to you guys and be able to express herself the way she wants. Like I always tell you, this is about breaking the silence, letting others know, using your voice to empower others, using your voice so that others know your story, because every story, we all have a story. We all have a story, and it's great to have others know what that story is, because who knows what we went through, right? What we went through in our life could help others, and that's what we're empowering others by breaking our own voices, by shattering our silences with our voices. So this is Breaking the Silence. We're back, folks. I appreciate everybody of y'all. I appreciate everyone. So today, in this lovely night, we have this great human being with us, and you can see her. I've met her for a couple of times, and this is actually our first time actually sitting down, speaking to each other, getting to know each other. We met through one of her good friends, through her good friends that actually DM'd me once and said, I have a great friend of mine that loves to sing, and she's looking for opportunities, right? And we were able to give her an opportunity, and she did great. She did awesome, as she sang the national anthem at one of our last shows, and it was awesome to see a local talent, right, to express herself behind her talent, which is singing and maybe other stuff. I don't know, but we'll figure that out along. Let's join for the ride. This is Breaking the Silence. Thank you once again, and I present to you Gisela.
Gisela.
See what I mean?
It's
Gisela.
Yeah, it gets mispronounced a lot of times, either Gisela, Giseli, Gazelle, but Gisela.
Gisela. Awesome. So I appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for
having me.
Thank you for taking this opportunity and getting to know us and being here with us, right? And being vulnerable to a degree where, like, this is, even though we're not live, but you're still talking to really an unknown, right? And I appreciate you taking your time. Thank you, and I appreciate all the time. And so let me get straight to the point, right?
Yes.
So, like I mentioned, we met each other at our ODA last show, and because of your friend, she probably see this and she's like, "Hey, it's me." Yeah, it was you.
Hey, Maureen.
So it was because of her you were able to, and I'm the type of person. We're the type of company that we always give opportunities, especially to local talent, because we believe in a local talent. Right? We believe and how difficult it could be, especially in this area, especially in the field that you are in. You find yourself in singing, right?
Yes.
And among other stuff. So again, thank you for being.
You.
So tell me, where did you come from? Obviously, your parents. We don't know that, but ethnicity, right? Are you through immigration? Who are you?
American
Talk to me.
Citizen. So I come from Puerto Rican and Italian roots, and yeah, that's me. I'm not originally from Massachusetts. I'm from New York City, born and raised. I moved out here. Wow, I want to say maybe when I was about 30 years old, 3 years ago. So yeah, but originally I'm from Brooklyn, Bushwick, by the way. Yeah, and this is like something, new for me, this state. Even though my musical journey didn't start here, I would say I ran with it more when I moved out here. So, I definitely connected with a lot more artists out here versus in New York City. So, because I started a lot much younger with my musical journey in New York City. I was probably about 16.
Really?
At that time, yes. I actually had signed to a group called Sporty Thieves at the time. So, and they were located up in Yonkers, New York, upstate. And I actually recorded a demo with them. Unfortunately, I was too young at the time to deal with that whole industry and stuff like that. So at that time, my mom just kind of like pulled me out of all that. And I kind of just took a hold from there for a couple of years. Just didn't really tap into music for a while, until years later. And then, I realized it was something I just had to tap back into. Like, singing is life, but Yeah.
I definitely could tell that you're from the New York area.
Yeah.
The accent, that never leaves us, right? That will never
I
leave
get told that all
us.
the time. Every time, oh,
You get
you
told
sound
that.
just like you're from New York.
Sometimes it tends to get stuck on me. I'm not from New York. I'm actually from the island as well. I'm from the island. But so, saying that really, so if you don't understand me, just say repeat yourself.
Okay.
Because as a Puerto Rican, we all know that we tend to speak very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And being a Puerto Rican,
Strong
my accent, and sometimes I have that strong accent comes out. So I'm just letting you know, it's like, I don't understand you. Like, hey, okay, well, repeat it. So I always tell everybody, like, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not denying my roots either, but I mean, so you stated, right, you said that at age 16 you recorded a demo. How did that come about? How did you feel being in that studio at that young age?
Scary. How I got introduced to that group, actually, I was at a boot camp that my mom sent me away to. I wasn't necessarily a good child growing up, so she sent me away to this program called the National Guard Challenge Program, and it was for troubled teens, and there was a sergeant there, Sergeant Martinez, and she used to hear me every night when everybody used to go to sleep in the barracks. And she used to hear me sing in the hallway, and one day she was just like, you know what, like your voice, like it's just something about your voice. She's like, I know these guys, man, you know, when you graduate out of here, she's like, I want to introduce you to these guys. And I was just like, she never really told me exactly who the guys were. She was just like, you know, when you get out of here, take my number, you know, we'll meet up and blah, blah, blah. Time went by, I came out, and then I, you know, called her and I was like, hey, you know, remember me? She's like, of course, I remember you. Well, my real last name is Rodriguez, so they call me Cadet Rodriguez. She's like, of course I remember you. She's like, Miss Rodriguez, Cadet Rodriguez. I'm like, yeah, cool. So she's like, I'm gonna drive you up there to Yonkers, you're gonna meet these guys. So when I met them, I was like, man, they look kind of familiar. So they were like, it's, you know, where the group Sporty Thieves. And I'm like, oh man, those are the guys that came out with the Pigeon song, with the TLC, that the, you know, No Scrubs. So I was just like, oh man, I'm such a huge fan. So she was just like, you know, this young lady right here, she's very talented. I want to see what you guys can work with, you know, as far as, you know, what can you do with her. But at that time, I had no experience in studios, and it was like legit my first time being in a studio and just being around any type of industry of any sort. So it was nerve-wracking. I was scared to death. They had to coach me really, really hard through the booth, and it was just, it wasn't easy. I didn't do so amazing, so great. So yeah, that's how that went about.
But you had an opportunity that a lot of 16-year-olds don't have.
Yeah.
And that's an honor. That's a privilege. What I was doing at 16, I wasn't in a studio at all. I was at school. That's all I was doing. But you had the opportunity, which it's awesome to have people that support you, right?
Yeah.
Especially the lieutenant.
Yes.
The lieutenant.
Yes.
And we always have those type of people around, and it was great to have those people around us. And I always think those, right, that are able to help us and see something special in us, right? And you stated that you moved to the state, or you moved to to Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, yeah.
At the age of 30.
Yeah, like years later.
Yeah, but you definitely don't look like you're over than that. So, and well, let's leave it like that. But I just imagine growing up in New York, you know, growing up in, you said Yonkers?
Well, no, that's where I met the group at.
That's where you met the group at, but
I'm from Brooklyn.
You're from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I stayed a few times in Brooklyn, and it wasn't easy, you know, so
No.
I just imagine a child, imagine a 16-year-old growing up in Brooklyn and seeing stuff that a lot of others haven't seen. So I imagine some of those things probably stayed in your head, you know.
I had a mixture of the ghetto, as they would say, of that type of life, and kind of living like in the suburbs. Because my mom, I come from a mom that works. She's a hardworking woman. You know, she finished school, has all her degrees, so she was always a working mom. So she worked really hard to get us out of those type of areas. But even though, you know, we lived in better neighborhoods, we always hung out in the hood. So it was always, you know, we were always back and forth there. But she definitely worked hard to get us away from those areas. And, you know, even before the whole boot camp experience and stuff like that, she had sent me to a Mariah Carey camp when Mariah Carey camp first came out, where I was pretty much kind of already surrounded by a lot of, like, you know, celebrities at that time, which Nina Sky was at that time around my age group, where they were, you know, coming out as kids, and everybody loved Mariah Carey, and it was the first time that she came out at that summer camp. So that's kind of like where it was like my family was like, oh, she really likes to sing, so let's just send her there. So that was kind of like the beginning of me trying to like break out, but being around so many of the kids that were like, for what I felt like much more amazing than me, I still didn't really come out of my shell at that moment. You know what I mean? So it took me many, many years. Like as much as I like to sing, I do to this day suffer stage fright really, really bad.
You didn't show it.
Everybody says that.
You didn't show it, but we like to we tend to hide stuff, right?
Yeah, everybody.
But now it's just that experience itself, seeing Nina Sky, right? Seeing Mariah at that young of age, you know, these are things that gives the hope. It's like, hey, you know, I saw this, right? And who knows, later on in our life, we came back to that, right?
Yeah.
And these are the situations in life, and we know that life is life. We know that when life starts lifing, there's a pain, and I know you stated the years, and I just imagine that childhood, right? I just imagine living there and whatnot, but
it's a fast-paced city.
oh, they say never sleeps, right?
Never.
Never.
Yeah, it was real different when I moved out here. Everything was a lot much more easygoing, slower. It was like, okay, it was hard to get used to, but you know, here I am.
So what made you move to Massachusetts?
Just the change of scenery for my kids. You know, I didn't want my kids to grow up in that environment, if that makes any sense.
It does.
You know, and it was also, I experienced at some point homelessness. You know what I mean? Like my family was always supportive of me as much as they could, but it was like, you know, the lifestyle I was living, the way I was moving, the way I was going about was just a lot. And unfortunately, like in that area, like in that state in general, like, you know, either you get it together or you gotta leave. So I was fortunate to move out here and get the help that I needed, but it was like I had a choice to still find a way to stay out there, but in all, like around, I was like, you know what, maybe this is a sign for me to get the hell out now that I'm having kids. I really didn't want them raised there, not going through what I went through. So they're raised out here, and it's like, you know, they don't know about the city as much and all that. I mean, we visited, obviously, they, you know, all my family's based out there. So, you know, they visit out there and they're like, Mom, like, whoa, this is a lot. So, yeah, that was one of the biggest reasons, just battling those issues of wanting a better environment for them and just me going through the stuff that I went through. So that's how I ended up here.
So I understand as a parent, right, we always want the best for our children, right? And what I went through my lifestyle, through my life, my decisions, consequences of decisions and all that, I understand that part. I don't want the kids going through what I went through life and struggling.
Nobody
right?
does as a parent.
As a parent, you know, and it sucks when we get to see that, but at the same time, unfortunately sometimes the scene depends on the situation, right? And I'm glad, you know, it's good that at least that your children were over here now, and they must be a little bit unsettling for them once they go to New York and see, like, this is where my mom comes from. This is bro.
Yeah, like when I go out there, I'm like, I'm comfortable, I'm used to. They go out there, they're like, whoa.
Yeah, I just imagine like getting out there and then the New York accent pops out real quick. New York.
Yeah, it's funny because my first son, he was born. So I have three boys, but one lives in Long Island right now, and then the two boys that I have, one of them actually was born out here. So we always joke in front of you, like we always make it fun of him, like you're Massachusetts, like, you know, because my other two are born out there. But even though the other one was born out there, he was pretty much raised here. So they really don't really know anything much about New York. Besides when we go out there and we visit family.
Did you actually prefer it that way?
Yeah, they like here.
No, you talking about you? You prefer it like that?
Yeah.
Them being raised over here and going through.
Yeah, because like I said, when we visit over there, they're just like, they like it, you know, the lights, the people, like all that, but it's like, it's overwhelming for them. And they're just like, whoa. But that's like the good parts that they see, you know, they don't know what it really is to be like born and raised in New York. So,
especially in Brooklyn, you know,
yeah.
And around the Brooklyn Bridge and heading over to.
Yeah.
It could be a handful.
Yeah, definitely.
So you moving over here, it was a head start for you. It was a jump, right? It was. I imagine the scary part of it. Like I don't know Massachusetts, right? But I don't know Massachusetts. I don't know nobody. I imagine you didn't really know anybody in Massachusetts, especially in this area. So I just imagine how scary it was for you as well, taking that jump.
Yeah, well, it was and it wasn't, because growing up, like I said, my mom was a really hardworking woman, but we moved around a lot. So we were always in different parts of New York City, and then even as an adult, like I just kind of like like maneuvered everywhere. Like there were times when I was younger that I was in Connecticut at some point. I was living in Florida at some point, and I lived in actual Puerto Rico at some point. So I was always all over the place, you know. So for me, it was like, okay, like it was a bit scary, but I was like, you know, I'm used to this. I got this. And,
You easily adapt.
Yeah, easily.
Easily adapt, you know. And people go through stuff, right? And I'm glad that you're able to handle that. You're here, you're living, right? You're breathing, especially going through that area. Going through, I just imagine, you know, I can only imagine what you actually went through living over there. And because me living in Puerto Rico, it was a handful. It was a handful. I remember walking over dead bodies. So that's in Puerto Rico. I was going to school, walking over dead bodies, and I was like, well, just keep it moving. It becomes normalized.
Yeah.
And I know how hard it gets, and especially when you want to get away from that path, right? And one of the reasons my mom took me over here was I was going into that path too. And she's like, let's go to Massachusetts. I said, why Massachusetts? Because my grandmother lived here in Massachusetts, and my grandmother, God bless her soul. Whew. Yeah, she was
So what was the grandmothers? I miss my grandmother too. So
she's still alive. I thank God for her. You know, she's the one that whooped me back into place.
Yeah.
But then
that's what they do.
Yeah, you know, my grandmother from my father's side. But I mean, you took the jump over here, right? You took the jump over here, and then, like I stated, with the jump and the scariness of it, and you end up having children over here, right? One child.
Yeah, I already had two over there. And
two over there and one
here. Over here. Yeah, but when I first moved to this state, like I didn't actually move to Springfield first. I actually moved to Greenfield. Yeah.
Greenfield.
Yeah.
Why Greenfield?
I knew some kind of connected family in a way, so that's how I ended up there, because I knew really nobody from the state, so that's how I ended up there. And I know I always tell a lot of people, yeah, they're like, okay, so you moved here when you first? I'm like in Greenfield, and a lot of people always like, oh, like, what the heck made you move?
Greenfield is it's a beautiful little city. It's a beautiful city, but
in the sticks.
Deep in the sticks, but also being deep in the sticks, we all know that deep in the sticks racism is.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
I dealt with that a lot over there.
Yeah.
That's what made me move here.
Really?
Yeah. That's what actually helped jumpstart me to come over here.
The racism.
Yeah. Really, really bad. It wasn't all bad. I mean, like I had a lot of great experiences. I made a lot of great people out there, but unfortunately, there's just some people that are still stuck in that mindset. So I definitely went through some hard times with that racist stuff that goes on still out there. But yeah, that's how I ended up here in Springfield because of that.
But even, you know, going through that, I imagine in New York and all these places, you probably never experienced that.
No, and I tell people all the time, I'm like, look, everywhere you go, there's going to be racism, right? But it's like, in New York City, it's not as bad. Like, it's very rare you come across it. It's so diverse. You know, it's just a lot of different cultures. It's everybody's one. I always say it, like, people are like, how do you describe it? We're all one. Like, well, there's no color, there's no nothing out there. So moving to this state in that particular city was definitely a culture shock. I would tell you that much.
Yeah. It was a culture shock.
And I obviously noticed it and experienced it, and my kids just not living that life over there and just being here and being born and raised here, they weren't really like understanding of that. So it was hard explaining that to them too, like how that works. You know what I mean? So yeah.
No, and I bet, because I worked in Greenfield before, and I know, trust me, I know. I got stopped plenty of times.
Yeah.
Just because I was driving a car, basically. Yeah. I'm Puerto Rican, and you don't know who you
just
are.
Walking, that's it. Like, hey, you fit the description of so-and-so, and that's terrible. I've had my children go through experiences in school where they've got caught in names, you know, stuff like that, and just, I've had bad experiences with neighbors where I had to be moved around for first, you know, derogatory names and stuff like that. So it got to a point where I was just like, we got to get the hell out of here. Mm-hmm. So, and that's exactly what we did. And we ended up here, which I heard through people is a little bit more diverse, you know, over here. I haven't really experienced those type of issues out here.
So you jumped from Greenfield to Springfield?
Yeah.
So you actually live in Springfield now?
Yes.
Okay. That's cool. That was another jump that could have been scary too, because you're talking about Greenfield up in the sticks.
Yeah.
And now you come to the city of Springfield, and city of Springfield could be chaotic sometimes.
Yeah.
Could be chaotic
It
sometimes, and
is
it's
to
a
a
lot.
certain degree, because like I always say, like people always like, well, you're from New York City. I mean, it's probably worse out there. Like for me out here, it's not as bad. I don't know. I mean, I heard before I moved out here was a lot worse, but I guess maybe I moved out here at the right time.
Yeah, you did. Yes, you did. Because I remember, I was, and when I moved from Puerto Rico over here, the same reason why my mom took me out of Puerto Rico to here, I started doing it over here, actually here in Springfield. This Springfield was my stomping grounds, and I was the type of child that nobody would pass anything by me. You say something stupid to me, there would be fists in your mouth. I was fighting all the time. Fighting all the time.
Yeah.
Because of that, because I did experience racism through here in Springfield and everything else, but naturally being from around here, so I get the gist of it, but still, I'm thinking about that, and you kind of got me off guard with the children things and your age too. I was like, whoa. So, but that's awesome in that sense, right?
Yeah.
But my question to you is, so when did you start using your talents in Springfield, or when did you start trying to get back into the industry?
It actually started in Greenfield, to be honest.
Really, in Greenfield?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it doesn't seem like a lot goes on out there, but like it there's some stuff that happens. It actually all started with an open mic. That's how it started. Yeah, it was just an open mic, and I had my kids were real small at the time, and I was like, I'm just gonna walk in there and just just sing, and it just went from there. And then I met a female out there named Diana, and she was someone that was well connected with a lot of artists out there. And even though I didn't consider myself an artist at that time, I was just like, well, I'm just trying to get in, what's going on out here. And she started me off. Like, it basically started through her, where it was just like, hey, I know these people, I know that people. And then she started connecting me even already before I moved here to Springfield, like people that were already out here, like, through social media. And that's when she connected me to someone that actually came from Chicopee. And that's when I got my voice on a collaboration on my first, not my song, but like a song that me and him did together with this rapper. So that's how that started. And that's when I realized, you know what, I really want to do my own music like now, but I never really knew I had the capability to songwrite. And then one day I just sat down and I just wrote. And then I wrote my first song. And that all happened out there first.
Happened where?
In Greenfield.
In Greenfield.
Yeah.
But no, it's crazy, right? Just to say like that life situation, that got you back into something that you thought that you'll never miss in your life, which is music, right? And I'm a musician too myself, so I know how much it is, especially the passion behind it and what it does for me. I imagine it's the same way it probably saved my life. It probably saved your life a few times.
Oh yes, it has. I like my songs. Everything I write is what I'm feeling, what I'm going through, and so that's my therapy right there.
There's a therapy right there.
Singing, music, all that. So it definitely helped me a lot. So
that's good. So question now, right? Question would be like, what got you to start singing the national anthem and different, not just in the wrestling, but I'm going towards that question.
It's funny because it was something that I actually did as a kid. I already had started that as a kid. I did it in elementary, in junior high school, even in boot camp. Which is, like I said, even after doing that sergeant, the same lady that introduced me to those guys, she was just like, man, your voice. So I did all that all the time. As an adult, wasn't something that I thought I would do again. But I had someone reach out to me and was like, hey, like, would you be interested in this? And I was like, man, like, I haven't sang the national anthem in years. But I was just like, yeah, I'll do it. And then it started right there. It started back up. It started back up.
You know, like I said, I was a 6-month friend, right? But then when that happened, she reached out to me and she gave me something to clip and everything. I was like, let's go for it. Let's go for it. And it was good to see how you celebrated that day as well. How you were cheered. So that must have brought memories back too. That must have brought things like, this is it, really. I'm just singing the national anthem, but I'm doing what I love.
Yeah. And I like it. The national anthem, I sing it with grace. I mean, don't get it twisted. I've had a lot of criticisms already. Like, why are you singing like that? Why do you stretch it like that? Why there really is no proper way to sing it. It's just in the moment, in the feeling. So how I sing it is just how I sing it. So,
Well, the next time you sing for us, you have to sing La Borinqueña. You have to learn that.
I have to work on that. My Spanish is, I mean, yeah. It's not that. So I'm not really great at Spanish as far as communicating in it and sometimes even understanding it as much. But again, with music, if you, for some odd reason, give me the lyrics and I can read it, I don't know why, and I can sing it. Maybe not understand every word I'm singing,
So we'll
but
put you to the test for that.
yeah, and that started actually when I was younger too.
Yeah.
So yeah, my mom would be like, I don't understand how is it that you struggle with talking it and like with the communication and all that and understanding it, but like when it comes to the music aspect of it, like you can just mimic it and just boom. She's like, I don't understand that. I don't get it.
So the first time you sang the national anthem at a wrestling, but why wrestling though? Why it just happened to be a wrestling show? Or
Yes, Dave from the New Order Wrestling, he actually reached out to me, and it was I got to do two birds with one stone if I said that right, and I say that because I've always already been a wrestling fan. I've always been like since I was younger, so like I understand I like music, I like to sing. What people don't know, not most people, is I wanted to be a wrestler when I was younger. So I watched wrestling since I was 8 years old. So that was something, if my mom was to watch this right now, she'd crack up. She'd go, oh God, she drove me crazy. Like I always wanted to be a wrestler. I was into the wrestling, watched wrestling, a loyal fan of wrestling, cried over wrestling, wanted to kill myself over wrestling. So it was, So it was just like, when Dave had reached out to me about that, I was like, man, and it's for wrestling? I was like, when I called my mom and I told her, she's like, oh, isn't that so cool? You love wrestling too? Go ahead, do it. And I was like, yeah, I want to do it. So it kind of also sparked that like childhood dream back up, where I was like, oh, look at that, like wrestling, how cool is that? So yeah, that's how that happened.
So that was your first time, but I just imagine how the feeling was, back, not just necessarily in the ring, but and not necessarily in the national anthem, just like I said, to actually getting back to what you love, the singing, right?
Yeah.
The singing part. And I know when you did it for ODA as well, it was kind of a different environment. I don't know how much of a different environment. Yes, it was wrestling, but it was a different environment to a degree. And they actually loved you too. I can tell for a fact. They asked me, "He's like, oh, have her bring her back." I was like, "Okay, bring her back."
That's great.
But then at the same time, it's like, "You better have her sing La Boriqueña." I was like, "I'll try."
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna work on that then. Okay. Yeah, because I've had a few people had asked me if I knew how to sing that. I was like, no, but I'll learn.
It's okay.
I'm always open to that.
It takes time. It takes time because it's a hard song. It's definitely a hard song. But it's a beautiful song because it's our island roots, right? But so meanwhile, now that you're singing again, and living in Springfield, going through life in Springfield, right? Your children in life in Springfield, wrestling, all of this, right? Are you starting to record? Are you starting to record? What is that looking for you? What is that looking out for you?
Well, yeah, I had a couple of stuff going on where I was like, I have a lot of unfinished projects. So I did the mistake of, signing contracts and me trying to get out of them and putting everything at a halt and things getting ripped under me and me having to constantly start over. So I'm kind of at a point right now where I'm like kind of pretty much starting over. So I actually just did drop a song, Sky's the Limit. So, I'm working on that music video that's coming soon. And so just pretty much starting over, reconnecting with new artists, and just pretty much starting over my brand. That's pretty much where I'm at right now. Yeah, it's not easy when you're dealing with so many different people and
the age factor too, knowing the fact that we're so, it took a long time, but you finally are able to do that, right? And I congratulate you for that.
Oh, thank you.
I applaud you for that because I know how difficult it can be when you jump back into something that hasn't done in a long time.
Yeah, like a lot of people always tell me, like, oh, why aren't you further in this and that? I'm like, well, I've had a pretty rough life, and like, just even with the musical aspect of it, where not all the experiences were great. I've had some, bad experiences in Greenfield too, with connecting with the wrong people, even out here, and going back and forth in New York, and it was a lot. A lot of things get stopped, and then between my personal life, it's like, sometimes I wasn't really being consistent, because people tell me all the time, like, we see you doing this. I'm like, but you see me disappear a lot. So now it's like this year I'm going hard. I'm trying to stay consistent and, just trying to make sure I'm connecting with the right people.
What do you mean by disappearing a lot?
Just like I said, when I go through a lot of things in my personal life, I kind of just fall off and, just take a break from music, take a break from socializing people. And then as far as music, it's like when you sign papers and you get caught in those kind of, situations, it's like, you can't really work with anyone else. So you have to figure out a way to get out of all of that. So then it's like everything is put on hold. Like I had an EP that I was working on, and unfortunately that didn't work out. So I had to back out of that and get out of that situation. So it's like I no longer have access to those songs. So now it's like, this is why I'm saying, like, now I'm starting all over again. And this is what, like, as far as what also I have going on is the documentary working on is just kind of like showing and explaining to those people those type of struggles, that it's like, it's not easy. Like, not everybody's good for you. Not everybody's intentions is right. So I've been constantly like at a halt with so many things and pulled back. So, but now that I'm out of all those things, now I'm like I said, I feel like I'm rebranding myself all over again and just starting all over.
So you think this is it? This is
yes,
it?
Yes, I'm gonna clean slate and I'm just, yeah.
This is it. So I know that you just dropped an EP, right?
Yeah.
And how was that though? It was like having that experience back again, dropping your own song. I imagine this is
a lot better.
I just imagine this is my own song. This is a song that I actually wrote. This is me.
Yes, it's all my rights, all mine. So it's
you had dropped your EP. How long ago was you dropped your EP?
Well, that one that I was talking about that I have no longer access to, that was supposed to drop earlier this year. But as far as this song, this is just like, you could basically just say a single. Because I decided to, because of that experience, I pretty much decided to just go with singles and collaborations. Maybe a mixtape would happen at some point, but I just think I would rather go at that pace and just kind of just throw one thing out here, one thing out there. That's kind of the path I'm going right now.
Sooner they could just add all those songs and put them into one album, right?
Yeah, but I'd rather just...
No, but I'm saying that because they're already recorded afterwards, so I just keep the masters and then after put it all in one album.
Yeah.
Because I know somebody that actually has been doing that.
Really?
Yeah. He is a great friend of mine. I could probably introduce you to him afterwards.
Nice, that'd be great.
He is from... Right now he's in PA. But I tell him to come down here, he'll come down here as quick as possible.
Nice.
But he's more into the reggaeton type of stuff and more like into
a lot of people tell me to tap into that. The whole reggaeton thing, that's a thing now. So.
It's a thing now, and he's a great person. He's an awesome person. But we'll talk about him later. This is about you, not about nobody else. This is about you, right? And those connections, right? And I thinking about it sometimes, I could see how hard those connections could come around, right? How long it takes for those connections to be, how long those connections take.
Yeah.
So, struggling, right? How long has it been taking you to meet with people here in this area and just local, but also expanding yourself outside of just the local and trying to get back into it?
I know a lot of local artists out here, amazing people that I've met out here. As far as connecting musical wise and working with a lot of them, I haven't had so much luck with that. No. I mean, most of the people that help me and that I'm pretty much more well connected to are like in Jersey. I have some connections in Connecticut. I have some in Boston. Still have some in New York City. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's weird out here, but it's just not. Everybody does their own thing, and I get it. But it hasn't been easy for me to get those type of connections like that. So like the songs that I do put out and, the studios that I have worked at where I've got my music together where I have nothing to do with Springfield. So that's surprisingly, people don't really know that, but yeah.
No, because I know how hard, I know how hard it is really because like I said, being a musician myself and I'm no longer in that no more, but I know how hard it was trying to get into that and trying to meet people and I have some connections for you, if you want. I know a gentleman here. Only the unfortunate thing about him is that he doesn't speak English.
Oh, okay. How would that work?
Who knows? Adventuring part, and all he does, well, he knows a little bit of English, but he has that very strong accent. and but all his music is Spanish. All his music is Spanish and reggaeton type of. But he actually is here in Springfield, and he'll be a great person that we can connect you with. I'm just saying.
Nice.
I'm just saying. Just I'll connect
And
you
it's
with him.
nothing against Springfield. It's just this. There's really, I don't know the proper word or the right word to explain it. It's just, like I said, for a lot of people would be like, but how? You know so many artists. Like, how is it that you can't tap into that? I'm just like, because out here, I guess people just have their own things going on. I don't.
It's not necessarily having their own things going on. Is unfortunately, they keep things to themselves.
Well, that too. Well, there it goes.
I'm more honest.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
straight out.
Let's just throw it all out
Just
there.
throw it out there.
kinda
That's what's
pretty much
breaking the
truth.
silence. We're breaking the silence, folks.
Yeah. You definitely said it right. I think that's, for me, that's pretty much the experience I've went through, where it's like, like even when I did my first music video, it was like, I reached out to people. It's not, and the thing is that everything I do, I pay for myself. I don't look for handouts. I don't need anybody to write my songs. I don't need that type of help. The thing is, it's just, point me in the right direction. You know what I mean? And I'll give you credit. Hey, this person helped me with this person, that person. But even just like me getting my first music video done was a headache. It was like I knew all these people, and everybody was like, yeah, I'll let you know this person, that person. I'm not one that just like throws myself out there and just hunts people down that I don't know. I kind of try to find people through people that I already know. It would make more sense. Like, connect me, let me know this person. And even that was a problem. So
No,
that's just the truth.
It is. Especially I think that's one of the things that happens a lot here in Massachusetts, especially to those that find themselves. I can't really say struggling, right? But leaning that way, because even in the wrestling industry, it's the same way. Mm-hmm. Everybody keeps everything to themselves. Like, I want to do me. That's all I'm doing. Me. I don't. It's like I don't want seeing you. I don't want you seeing being successful, right? Or being successful in anything that you do. So I'd rather just keep everything to myself. And unfortunately, that's something that happens, right?
Yeah.
Happens all the time. But how have you been working through that?
Just basically staying connected and loyal to my connections that are not from here. Like,
hence the reason why New Jersey.
Yeah. I know a bunch of people from other places that believe in me, and they go, man, how do you live somewhere? And it's like, all these people, and it's like, what is the issue? And I'm just like, I don't know. It's like, I wouldn't say I'm like disliked. I mean, I probably am by, for personal reasons, but as far as music, a lot of people out here, they do like my music. I do have artists. Some of them I have good friendships with, but it's just, it's everybody's either too busy. It's always something. It's, oh yeah, I'll get back to you, or, I'll let you know. And it's just, I'm not a person that waits around. I can't wait around. I got to get things done. I got to, be on the move. And that was one of my downfalls of when I came out here trying to connect with people, and it was like things were taking too long, and I kind of went through the stages of giving up and saying, forget it, it is what it is. And then one day I was just like, you know what? I have all these people in all these other places. It was just harder traveling, to travel out there. But now it's like I'm also connecting with more people out of here, where you can do things online and over social media. And like, just like the song I put out recently, I was having issues getting a mixer and mix and mastered. And I have a guy from Boston, Eamon Anderson, who's a great producer and engineer, by the way. And he was able to do it all, like, just send me the track. I got you from there. And that was it. He was like, you don't got to worry about nothing. Just send it to me. I got you. Same thing with my guys in Jersey. Bruce, shout out to Bruce. Him and his peoples, it's like, he's like, hey, if you ever need any beats, we got you. You don't even have to come over here. We get on the phone. This is what we do. It's just that simple. But as far as like traveling, they got, sometimes it could be hard to get in the studio and do all that. But I'm just a person. I can't be in a box. I can't be held down. And that's just what it is. That's part of the struggle.
So your genre, your focus, it's what type of music?
Well, that's the problem right now. I would say for a while I did R&B for a very long time. I'm kind of breaking out into, I don't even know what genre to call it, alternative. I don't really know. Can't really call it pop. Like, if you hear my last song, I don't really know what genre it is, but it's not R&B. So I'm kind of trying to break away from that, which is like cool, but it's like I still have, ties and connections with some songs and people that want to work on that has to do with the hip hop, because I know a lot of people with the hip hop, genre. but it's like, I'm kind of going down a different direction. So
It's good to explore.
yeah,
It's good to explore in
because a
different
lot of people heard my
genres.
last song and they're like, whoa, whoa, like what is this? Like it's cool, but what is this? You're not like singing on it, and you're just like the beat is like this and like that. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to go down a different route.
It's good to explore because who
Yeah.
knows what happens. It only takes one moment.
Yeah.
It only takes one moment to explode, right?
Yeah, and I don't want to be fit in a box. Some people think my voice belongs to R&B and soul, and I get it, but it's like
Because that's what we showed this entire time.
Yeah.
I just imagine you trying to like singing salsa. I just
Yeah.
imagine this. It might sound really crazy, but just imagine yourself just like singing reggaeton, singing salsa, even bachata. All these getting out of that comfortable spot, because a lot of the things that happen a lot is that we stay within our own comfortable spot, and then we don't explore and we don't know how to outbridge or output ourselves. Even I go through that all the time through wrestling, through everything that I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing, especially with family behind us, especially with little ones, running around and trying to figure that out too. But I applaud you. I applaud you. I thank you. Right? I applaud you for doing what you do, especially raising your children, which it still shocked me. But
I actually had brought my sons to the first wrestling event. When it was the second time that I did it over there at the New Order Wrestling, and my kids actually sat there and they watched me and they were like, wow, Mom, you can actually sing. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, we always hear you sing in the house, but it's like, I don't take it serious in the house. I joke around, play around. But for them to see me, they were like, wow, Mom, like people actually like you, like you like have fans. And I'm like, yeah, like I know it's hard to believe because I'm your mother, but yes, people actually like my singing. So that was a good experience for them to see that. Now they kind of look at me a lot more differently because as far as doing music and stuff, they're young, they're into all the new music these days, and I don't really fit into their box. But for them to see that, it kind of changed their mind. They were just like, okay, Mom, you're kind of cool. You're cool now.
You're kind of.
I got the kind of, yeah.
Got the kind of. But no, and so like going into when you sang for ODA, right?
Yeah.
You sang for ODA, and you saw the brights, lights, the cameras, all of that. What did you think? What did you?
Nerve-wracking again. I was like, oh, because now it's like it's in a different environment. So now I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And I didn't have any time to like mic check 1 2 1 2, nothing. Just get in there, just do it. So that was pretty.
You didn't have to do mic check because it was already.
Yeah, I was just like, okay, just get in there and do it. And it was funny because I actually seen 2 people that were like, hey, I know you're the girl that sings the national anthem. So I was like, yeah. So I was like, that's cool, yeah.
Because that's one thing about the industry here, about the wrestling shows here. A lot of our fans travel everywhere.
Yeah,
and you see them. You see them at every show.
Yeah.
Because it's
I started to notice that I see them everywhere. Like
yeah. And that's one thing, and you can see the difference between companies, right?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But like I said, this is more about you. And what are your goals? What are you looking to do moving forward, right? What is your dream? What is that moment?
To inspire.
To inspire.
I know it doesn't. It might not make sense to a lot of people. I feel like people run with this whole. I want to be famous. It's. I'm a realist, okay? Not to say that it wouldn't be possible, because the impossible is always possible, but that shouldn't really be the main goal or just the goal at and it's like even right now, like just the documentary we're also working on, it's like I want to show people like, this is what it is to go through to try to, chase that goal or chase that dream, and whether it works out or not, it doesn't, but it's to show people like this is what you have to go through. And I don't know how else to say it. I just feel like some people get in it for the wrong reasons. Some people get in it and they disappoint themselves. And I got to a comfortable place in my life where I know, like, hey, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I tried and I had fun while I was doing it.
And that's important. That's important, having fun, right?
Yeah.
Having fun and seeing, not just seeing the reactions to others, but you feeling that joy yourself, right?
Yeah.
And feeling that, wow, this is it, that moment,
Yeah.
right? It returned. And I just imagine you singing, not because of the national anthem, not because you're in a ring, not because of that, but I just imagine your thoughts, like, wow, like in front of cameras, in front of lights, in front of.
Yeah, nobody ever believes me when I say I'm a nervous wreck. They're like, but you looked at fire, you're great. I'm like, you don't even know.
I think what you didn't know was that when the last show, when you sang the national anthem, you're actually live all through Holyoke.
Yeah, I heard that. I was like, whoa. Like,
I didn't tell you that part. I didn't tell you that part because I didn't
yeah.
want to scare you any more than what
Oh
you were.
Lord.
But you were seen all over Holyoke, all over
Yeah.
Holyoke, and then you were jumped. That video was jumped over to Springfield, so that ran in Springfield also jumped into Chicopee. So they're getting to know you.
Yeah, it's great because now it's like now I want to expand more. Now it's like I actually have reached out to the city council about doing a national anthem at the 4th of July for the where they
Mm-hmm.
do the fireworks there. And I was, to my surprise, they actually reached back out to me and they were like,
Nice.
"Hey, like your video is great, it's amazing and all, but unfortunately we have someone that we deal with annually." But they were like, "Well, we'll consider you." So I was like, "Oh, okay,
That's everything.
say no more." Like like if anything happens to the lady, not saying I want anything to happen to her, but if it doesn't work out, like let me know, give me a call. So
There's other stuff that will run in Holyoke, right? La Fiesta Patronales, all of this stuff. Have you thought about jumping into all of that?
I wouldn't know how to go about that. Right now I've just been sending all my videos to just certain places like that, just whatever their emails I can find, but stuff like that I will have to look into that, like how to find their emails. And
Yeah.
I don't know, like I said, I'm still, even though I've been living here for a few years, I still don't know the whole state in general. I just know, like, bits and pieces of this and that, but
The Fiesta Patronal is the patron is in Holyoke. They do every single year, and it
really.
lasts like 5 days. And they always give out opportunities to local talent.
Wow, look
Local
at that.
talent. It'll be a good step for you. Look into it.
Okay.
If not, I'm willing to
Good
help too.
information. So.
I'm willing to help. And we'll figure that out for you. And let's see you on that big stage.
Yeah.
I want to see that for you. And maybe just get to the point where it's like, hey, I'm doing it because I actually love it, not because I'm becoming famous. Because I've known a lot of people that are not famous, but they've changed history.
Yeah. You know what? That sounds good. That's something that's something I'd like to do. That's kind of what I want to do. Like just do something different, inspire, change history, do something different. That I'm all about being different and doing something different. Because like I said, now I'm known out here as the wrestling national anthem girl, and I'm like, that's cool. I'll run with that. I have no problem with that. And who else is doing it? Who else is doing that right now? So.
And you get to dress up and be as you, and just go.
I get to go in there and feel like a singer and a wrestler at the same time. So it's cool.
Yeah, I'm happy for you.
Thank
I'm
you.
happy for you. And
I would definitely like to tap into national anthems in other places, but going back to what I said, it's like I know a lot of people, but they just, if there's things going on, not everybody's gonna tell me, hey, you should. I know this people in this place, and try this and this and that out. So it's me trying to figure things out on my own, and like what you just mentioned right now, didn't even know about that. So
there's the things that I'm willing to help. I'm willing to help. I'm not the type of person that I hide things. Like, no, I want you to grow. I want you to see things that I haven't seen. It's part of who I am. It's just like the wrestling industry as well. But in general, it's about helping others, right? Change history or change your own history, right? It's the most important part, and using your voice to shatter your silences, to shatter not just your silences, but other people's silences, because who knows what we went through, others are going through, and we're there to inspire them, right? And that's the reason why this podcast, is called Breaking the Silence, is because we all have stories. We all have stories, right? And it's just about empowering people. It's about be able to help others along their journey, right? Along their journey. And if we could change it just by a simple word, it's the great thing about life, especially when life gets lifing. It's weird to think to say life gets lifing, but and like I stated, thank you. Thank you for everything you've done, and thank you for singing at our show. And it won't be the first time that will happen. Maybe next time, La Boriqueña. I'm on your case. No, I'm just playing.
Definitely gonna work on that though.
Because you have a lot of Boricuas at my play at the ODA that love that, and especially like I said, bringing it out there like with the TV audience and the studio audience and having all out there, take advantage of all of that, take a look and these things, and I'm willing to help you out in everything I can. But I said, like, we're closing, so thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for letting me get to know who you are. Thank you for letting others know who you are. And this is about those moments where we are able to break our silences, right? And we don't know what we go through until we speak about it.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
so I'm happy now I'm on a easier path. I've regardless of my experiences, I have lately been bumping into, a lot more, better connections and better people little by little out here, where they're helping me get into certain places to perform at. And hey, I know this person, that person, those type of struggles that I told you I was having before. Shout out to Catastrophe. So I have certain people that now are just like, hey, I know you went through this and that, but I can help you. I believe in you. So I'm like, well, thank you. So
well, we believe in you. We
thanks.
believe in you. ODA, Odyssey of Hope, believes in you. If not, you wouldn't be around. Right?
Yeah.
I'm very blunt, but no, we appreciate. Thank you for everything, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Do you want to say any last words to your fans? Do you want to say anything in regards to your hopes are, what you want to do? Do you have any lasting words for those that want to follow in your footsteps, or those that are in your same footsteps going along?
Find your own way, find your own path. Yeah, make your own way. I feel like that's what I'm doing right now, and don't put yourself in a box and don't give up. And check out my song "Sky's the Limit" because that's a song that I wrote actually for myself to inspire myself, but it actually started inspiring more people.
Where can they see you?
You can go check me out on YouTube, Gisela Nyx, and the song is called "Sky's the Limit," and it's definitely an inspiring song that, like I said, I wrote it for myself, but I didn't know it was gonna make an impact on other people, and yeah, that's just definitely check that song out. I've got a lot of good feedback from that.
Awesome.
Because I usually write a lot of sad songs and stuff, so this
So
was
what's
one
the
that I
name?
was like,
What's the name of it?
Sky's the Limit.
Sky's the Limit.
Yes, definitely check that out on YouTube. Check me out on TikTok. Check me out on Facebook,
So what's
Instagram, Gisela Nyx.
That's your handle?
Yes, NYX. I'm the only Gisela Nyx out there, and not Nyx like the basketball team. So
She made it very clear. She made it very clear.
Yeah.
But like I said, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for taking your time and coming here with me and spend this beautiful moment speaking out to your fans and getting us to know you. So thank you, everybody, for your time. Thank you for staying with us and getting to know Miss Nyx. Thank you. We appreciate you. On to the next. Right? Remember, at all times, we use our voices to shatter our silences, but also help others, empower others, right, with our story. Because we all have a story. It's how we mention it, how we speak about it. So break our silence. All right. Thank you. And to the next. See you.